I know.
Just got done cleaning up.
Might as well just get the hecticness. This is going to be how this episode is. Just crazy things happening and lots of movement, so let's just deal with it. Right, Lonnie?
Yes, sir.
This mud, I hate mud. That's the name of a website, I think. Something to do with Land Cruisers. I don't know if you guys have heard of it or not. Anyway, it's everywhere because we just dug a big trench right through here to get gas and power, gas and water to the building that was so full of crap in the last episode, you won't believe what it looks like today. In fact, that's what this whole episode is about. Episode 77 shows such a mess here that I wanted to swoop in and make episode 78 so you can see we actually cleaned it up and we're not hokey slugs. Right, Chad?
Yeah.
Chad's picking somebody up from the airport who's picking up a Land Cruiser to drive back to Texas. Another Land Cruiser's getting shipped out today. I love it when they go because that means we have parking. Like I said, the last episode, we were all around here looking at the mess we had made. It's way better, and speaking of parking, let's go start with that. We're not gonna feature a Land Cruiser today, we're gonna feature the progress we made at this big move we're doing. So let's go check out the parking first. First thing that we did is we reorganized work in progress parking in all of the client's vehicles. It was sort of mismatched before, but now we've got this pretty dialed in. So everything in this first row is work in progress, something work in process and progress, something that's on the board, actively being worked on. And then the back two rows are projects waiting to be built, restored. A couple of these things are work in process too. We have some that we're trying to keep inside, but check this out, 40s, boom. Now they're not straight enough, but not too bad. These are all 40s that are waiting here for work of one kind or the other. Most of them restorations. And then wagons, 60s, 80s, there's a 45 pickup in there. That's done. That's actually leaving on Thursday of this week. Anyway, 60s and 80s, lots of these are restorations too. Finally got this, what I wanted. Hopefully it'll stay like this for a while. Got some chassis that are all assembled in here, ready to go back. I mean, it's just, if you saw episode 77, you were like, what happened at Profits? A bomb went off there? Really, especially in the warehouse and out back. Let's go see how we did, and then we'll go see what these jokers are doing. There's a lot happening here today. Sorry. That's what wire nuts are for? This is Chris, the electrician. He has been helping us make this. Do you guys recognize this building? The last time we walked through here, there were shelves, parts, floor to ceiling, piled up everywhere. It's actually 40 feet longer now too. We added on. And the paint booth is mostly in, and this is gonna be Bob's new haunts. It's pretty excited to move in here when it's all done. We still have to finish the electrical. We have to do the HVAC. We're getting 2 heat and air conditioning units in here. Brand new state-of-the-art paint booth. Let's go look at that. Pretty cool. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna expand all of our existing operations inside that shop, which is I think 14,000 square feet. The fab guys, Alex will have more room, and the mechanics will have way more room. This thing is pretty cool. Full downdraft. So what's the difference between a side downdraft and a full downdraft is this pit. So now the air is gonna go down through the filters and down around the car and through the floor and out and up out of the ceiling. And this is gonna be much, much cleaner paint jobs than the side downdraft booth that we currently have. I know that I'm excited. We have a black FJ40 to do. So you guys know about black paint. It has to be super, super clean. So that'll be the first thing we paint in here. Break in the new booth. Maybe 2 weeks, I'm hoping. Anyway, let's see why this is up and running. Not up and running now. You guys, if you've ever done any kind of construction, you gotta know that it's hard to get all the different construction subcontractors to work well together as concrete guys, paint booth guys, building guys. this 34-inch duct and that one back there, which is 34 inches, have to go right through that gas line and right through the stud that's right above the gas line that's part of the truss and out the roof. And as you guys will notice, that's not gonna be possible. So we had to order offsets. Otherwise this baby would be going and Bob would be painted here today. But by next episode, I bet it happens. Anyway, if you haven't seen episode 77, go back and look. You won't believe this building. Somewhere, there were steering wheels hanging. There was mountains of parts everywhere. Somehow we got all those moved. Where are they? We'll go find them next. So you guys saw these boxes the last time, but they're almost done now. They're not 100% done. We're getting close. We made gaps between them. Now, if you've ever hooked two Connex boxes together, you know you're a redneck. But that's what we did. Square tubing bent and structural steel the long way. This gap's only 6 feet. I'll show you one of the longer ones down there. Clearly this is gas tanks and drive shafts down there. And then we have all of our stuff in these boxes. This is the 80-100 series box. They're labeled 60-2. That's the second FJ60 or 62 box. 60-1. Here's another gap. So this is a proper redneck way to hook two Connex boxes together. There's angle iron down, which we never told you guys, angle iron is not allowed here, except for on stuff like this. If you're putting angle iron on a Land Cruiser, that's a stop it. Here, angle iron's okay. So there's angle iron down the side of both on top, and then that's 1.5 inch square tubing with a tiny bend in it that we put, not to shed water because clearly the steel is going the opposite direction, but it's there to provide support, right? Because if that square tubing, which is only 16th inch wall thickness, was flat, that would bow down in with the snow, but it won't bow down in like that. So proper Connex box hooking together, proper Connex box organization. Let's go in here. First thing that happens, light comes on. And then this is FJ60 box number 2. So the maps I showed you guys the last time, right? Those represent all the shelves, and there's a map on the other side of the wall for the other shelves. And then we have our 60 series parts organized in here. Pretty doggone good. Steering wheels, every shelf has a label. All the labels correspond. For some reason there's a light out. I know these aren't straight. Don't yell at me. You know why? They're magneted. That one's bad. What do you expect? What do you get from Amazon? That one's bad. Anyway, there's magnets screwed to the back of those, right to the box. Pretty cool way of doing it. What else we got? 60 series dashes. 60 series dashes, some 70 series dashes there. 60 series consoles. Let's go to a 40 box. This is pretty high level parts organization, right? I'm proud of our guys for sticking to this because it took so long to get this done. That's another 60 series box. Here's some of the 60 series body parts. These are 40 boxes. Here's 40-3, 40-2. Let's go look at 40-1. Now, I'm geeking out about this because, you know, I love Land Cruiser parts. Really, this is just a bunch of junk in a bunch of steel boxes, but still pretty cool. Gotta love it. Lights come on when you walk in. You guys know this stuff. Let's just walk down. Can you get a nice wide shot? This is when somebody's gonna say, that music that you have going on is too loud right here during this scene. That's my prediction. Look at this, FJ40 jacks, jack mounts, jack handle mount, jack rod mounts. We almost tossed this in the scrap metal because that doesn't look like a Toyota jack, but the brown color and the fact that it says Toyota on it right there made me realize it is a Toyota jack. So I'm really not even sure what this is out of. Maybe if you know, comment below. Anyway, jacks and tools, seat mounts. These are getting rare. We used to have tons of these things, but there's not that much anymore. 40 series. This is like the only miscellaneous shelf we have in here because, you know, some of these kind of rare parts like that right there don't have very many of those, so they don't need a shelf by themselves, clearly. Early rear door. And here's another trivia. What do you guys, do you know what these are? I do. If you know what those are, comment below for points, for profits points. All right. Anyway, I guess you can tell we're almost done with this. Almost all of the parts are organized into these boxes, and it's gonna make it way easier and faster for us to find what we're looking for, and also really to put stuff away. That'll help a lot too. The guys have been beaten into submission about 5S and keeping all this organized. Nah, they wanted to do it. It kind of comes naturally to Land Cruiser lovers. So we're there, so much better than the last episode, right? I guess I should show you a couple more things over here, and then you'll believe me, we actually cleaned it up. We're not redneck schlogs anymore, and that's a good thing. There was a trailer right here. You remember the trailer covered with parts? A lot of those parts are in there, some are over here. There are some parts that we're gonna store outside, and that's what we got over here. Obviously tires and wheels, and some of the hard parts that like have no moving pieces that won't really hurt to be outside. So we've just got rows of pallets, and that's not very high tech, but obviously here's a pallet of FJ40 battery trays and mounts, cross members, various milk crates of all of the things, frame, running board supports, 2 sets of those. There's lots of leaf spring mounts for the bottom of the U-bolt, brake calipers just for cores, bumperettes, FJ60 rear brake parts, FJ40 rear brake parts. You guys know this. I don't need to point all of this out to you. It is exciting though, right? Look at all the skid plates, radiator mounts. And then we've got 2 piles of cars over there. Let's go check them out. Boy, it'd be nice to have all these inside too, but I don't have enough room for that many more Connex boxes. What do we have here? Not for parts, Land Cruisers. All of these Land Cruisers here and that Land Rover, sorry about that. Sorry for getting that on camera. Are here not for parts, and then look at all these ones for parts. It's just exciting. Look at all the 80 series bodies. If you guys need an 80 series body or any 80 series body parts, we've got some, and there's more coming. Although it's hard to ship stuff like that, so don't ask. You have to come get it. We don't have that many parts cars, actually. People think we're a parts place, but we're really not. I mean, we obviously have a lot of used parts, but we're not good at selling them. It's hard to do. Shipping's a pain in the butt. And every parts car in the whole property is just right there. And most of them are 80 series, 140. Everything else, hands off. If we had a mess left, it would be right here. In fact, we did organize the leaf springs. Those aren't even put where they're supposed to go yet. These engines are covered and safe, but they're not really organized, although we do have them Y1F, 2F, 3FE, 1FC. But we need to clean this up still, and we need to clean this up still. But boy, this little bit of work right here sure seems a lot smaller than when I was like passed out in that FJ60 the last episode because we were so tired from moving. I mean, this is basically the beginning of October. You know, I don't know when that was, July, so we got all this, June. So we got all that stuff done. And only working on it for an hour to an hour and a half each day in the morning. That was the secret all summer long. And now we're back to pretty good organization. So, and I breathe a lot easier, sleep a lot easier too. Let's go see what's going on in the shop. This is a 100 series frame. Doing a 100 series body off restoration. And we learned something about this. So we've done some 100 series restorations and we've had bodies off of them before, but we've never paid this much attention. I'm gonna go get it in the shop and show you what I'm talking about because maybe somebody here understands it better than I do. But anyway, talk to Eddie. Eddie, what? I'm gonna go get that washer. You tell these guys what we're doing.
We're pressure washing this frame to send out for powder coat. It's a 2000 100 series Land Cruiser.
All right, trivia question for Eddie. Eddie, how long have you been working on Toyotas?
30 years.
There's not much you haven't seen, right? But Eddie came to me this morning with something he's never seen, and I've never seen it either. Show him where that goes.
Oh,
Hold it up first, let me see it.
well, it's just a washer,
Okay.
but it goes inside the body, right there. And there's no rubber or nothing.
And there's one on the other side. So, like every Toyota and most cars, all bodies are always suspended by rubber and isolated, right? So vibrations aren't there. So this has 12 rubber body mounts, but right here up through the floor, under the back seat or behind it, this stud with a Torx head, female Torx head, like a Volkswagen, right? And then this kind of different looking nutsert in a washer, one on each side. When I saw that, first thing I thought was ground. There must be some way a ground, right? Like a body ground, but why would they do that? Toyota's grounds everywhere. Cables and straps, and the harnesses don't rely on a body ground, right? In this year, what is that? What is it, Eddie?
I don't know.
How often are you gonna get us admitting that we don't know something? Probably. If anything, I think I know too much, right? But I don't know what this is. So I said you get profits points for identifying those two pieces of metal in the Connex box. This one's even more of a mystery. I guess we could get on EPC and look it up and see what Toyota calls it. That would help. But let's not do that. Let's just wait and let somebody who's smarter than us say what that is. Any guesses?
Anybody? Anybody?
All right, I'm gonna go put it back though. I don't want to lose it because we got to restore it with this frame. Thanks, Eddie. We just went out and looked at your new haunts, and are you guys excited to move?
Absolutely.
It'll be nicer.
Yes.
Why is it gonna be better?
Because I don't have people blocking my bay, opening the doors, putting country music on. It's gonna be awesome.
Didn't even mention the new $125,000 paint booth.
Oh, well, details.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so this will be Alex's domain later. It'll probably be full of like black lights and skulls. But anyway.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Anyway, it won't be long. Like I said, next episode, we'll make that the moving episode. Primer. Body off 80 series restoration. A couple FJ40 body offs. 79 and 73. There's another body off around here somewhere. All soon to be not in this room. And then tire machines, which shouldn't be here anyway, but that's just temporary while we move things around. And let's go see what else is going on. And other fun stuff happening. We're gonna go talk about this truck that we're taking to SEMA. So you do get your fill of Land Cruiser stuff a little bit later in the episode. Sounds like they moved that frame back in. Cummins at an 8-speed and an FJ62. The Iron Pig 3FE and this 5-speed. The engine is going to be here tomorrow. So next time you see this, it'll be, well, we're going to restore the engine compartment and the engine and put it in this, all the Toyota DNA, cool pig. Hey, the frame's back. What we're doing on this is, so 100 series, if you're an 80 series guy or a 100 series guy, and you're looking to buy a Land Cruiser, make sure you look at the undercarriage. The thing about 80 and 100 series is their bodies are not like 40s and 60s. They age gracefully, and when they do rust, they rust in hidden places. Under the bumper corners, you know, it's hard to see rust on an 80 or 100, but the chassis will rot away, and that's what happened to this 100 series. This is a 100 series that belongs to a family that's just really loves it. They call it the Beast. It's the family camping rig. It's a member of the family, kind of like all these things become to all of us, right? And the frame was getting so bad, it became unsafe to drive. You know, Northeast kind of truck. So we're doing a restoration on it with a frame swap to a, you know, California, Colorado, whatever, non-rusty frame. We'll also do all of the stuff we have to do to the frame to make sure that it lasts longer, right? Probably hot dip galvanize it and powder coat it. And then we're gonna rust proof as best as we can and rust repair on the original body, which isn't terrible, but the frame was trashed. All the suspension components are trashed. I mean, we'll use most of this donor car frame on that restoration. But anyway, if you're gonna buy a Land Cruiser, the pro tip is, especially with the 100 series or an 80 series, is undercarriage pictures, undercarriage pictures, undercarriage pictures. Get photos of all of that. Surface rust is no big deal, but if you start to see like big corn flaky rust flakes peeling off, or anything that looks like it might be a rust hole or, you know, excessive rust, that is when you want to wave off of those trucks, because, you know, it's going to take a lot to bring this one back. So anyway, watch out for that when you're buying a 100 series and 80 series online. And so now it's part of the episode when I ask for stuff from you. We need a used parts manager. We need somebody here who can help take care of this inventory and also offer it up on our online store. Right now, if you've bought anything from us ever, you'll notice that it's kind of hard to get stuff shipped out. It's hard, it takes a few days if you say, hey, I want this thing, but it's not on the store where you go look. We just don't have parts personnel, and I want one. I want the right Land Cruiser enthusiast who loves Land Cruisers and wants to be a part of this awesome team, who wants to come and, you know, have fun playing with this kind of stuff and help us with our used parts. So if you are that person, just info@resurrectionlandcruisers.com, or you can call or text and come here and help us with this. It would actually be a pretty fun job. Nobody here has time for it. So apply. Roy, we already asked Eddie. He had no clue. Do you know what that is? Any ideas?
It's a washer with a nut on it.
Oh, okay.
I was confused when we took it apart too. It's weird. I was picturing like a piece of rubber in there, like another.
Did you find this before you started to try to lift the body off?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't have. I would have been like yanking on it. It won't come off.
Oh, the skid steer would have got it loose.
It would have, you're right. So no clues. Well, hopefully somebody that's watching knows. Otherwise it'll be a mystery forever.
Yeah, I specialize in the older ones.
Right.
So.
Yeah, you're out of place on this.
Yeah, all this new plastic stuff and
newfangled plastic 100 series.
23-year-old plastic stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's new to me. I haven't torn too many of these apart myself.
It's fun though.
Something every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have it running into the day.
All right, perfect. We are going to talk about a Land Cruiser. Don't worry, it's not all parts and junk and outside stuff. So this FJ40 is going to SEMA in a month, and it's going with Quake LED, which is an LED light company located right here in Colorado. And the reason that it's going is because of this headlight. So you guys know that we're rigid truck light fans. We talk about them all the time, but these are actually pretty cool. This is a Quake LED retro looking, sort of more OEM looking, they call it their classic tech headlight. And it is a lot more at home looking on a sort of classic FJ40, especially a stock one, than the truck light is. The truck light is much more modern looking. So this is a resto mod, clearly the Corvette engine and the custom bumpers. It'd be okay to put a modern looking headlight on this, but this is the ticket for stuff like my personal FJ60, anybody's rig that's all original. If you want enhanced lighting but classic look, this Quake LED classic tech light is exactly what you want. And so Quake wanted to put this in at SEMA, and we've always had stuff at SEMA. So this is a body off restoration, FJ40. Of course, we'll do a whole feature on it later. But this is kind of a cool one because it is an every item off the menu, just about every item at restoration, and it's going to California. Now, put stuff on social media, I'll take a picture. Oh, you lost me at the Corvette engine. Oh, you ruined the car. I hear that all the time. Listen, don't talk to me about that. I'm the Toyota guy. I would rather put Toyota DNA in these than anything, but the truth of the matter is, this car doesn't go to California with a Toyota engine in it because there's almost no way to support keeping them emissions legal. You have to do something, because this is a 79, you have to do something that can be emissions legal in California. That's why the LS, plus it's more practical for this guy's use that way. So LS3, 6L80, ARBs front and rear, our wheelbase extension, full body off restoration, our bumpers front and rear, roll cage, all the stuff from the inside that you always see that we normally do. Very clean, pretty truck. And you won't find a nicer FJ40 built out there. You might find one that you like better if it has a 2F in it, but you won't find a nicer one. So check it out and listen to the guys talk about it.
So I'm going to talk for just a minute about some of the things that we do that really bring these above and beyond most restorations. Even the parts of the car that you don't see, and my example here is going to be the control units for the digital display are mounted on a custom fabricated plate, all the wiring bolted down and routed super neatly. We make even the parts you can't see really, really nice.
One of the things that's hard to do well on a truck like this is a parking brake system. You know, one modification leads to another. This particular instance, we've changed the transfer case. There's no longer an e-brake drum on here. And so we've had to basically rebuild the whole system. Now thinking ahead, I know my exhaust is going to come through in an interesting spot where I normally bring my cables through. So we've changed this one up quite a bit to even come completely off of the other side. Now this is all new stuff from control cables, and these guys are super awesome, helpful, and pretty quick. Just a quick shout out there. We've added this whole system to go with our rear brake conversion. Now this isn't a direct bolt-in kit. Each one of these I've built is just a little bit different. They've got some guidelines if this is something you're interested in doing on your cruiser at some point. But each one of these has got custom lengths for each one of these cables. So you just figure out what you want and they'll build it and send it right to you.
All right, so another thing that's tough about a 79 and newer FJ40 engine conversions, right, is the fuel tank. Because normally it's in the car, it makes it really easy. Starting in 79, it's underneath, but the factory fuel tank will not work with a much longer transmission, so you have to build. Alex built, we call this the Mall of America. Alex built this whole aluminum fuel cell. Yes, it's complicated, the shape is complicated, but it has to be to work with the body, the frame, the transfer case, and the rear drive shaft. And even the mounting straps are custom, so that's pretty cool. A lot of time and effort into, like Jordy said, some of the things you can't see.
The time we take to refinish all of our steering components, the clamps get taken off and sent out individually powder coated. All the bolts and nuts and washers get re-zinced. We tape off the tie rod ends themselves and remove the grease zerks so that they get brand new paint on them too. Just makes them last longer, makes them look better.
A lot of guys will do like when they make their brake lines, they'll try to just do hard 90s, and I agree because that's the easiest way to go.
2 hours later.
Is he still talking? I don't know, man. What am I supposed to say?
You're doing well.
I'm doing gooder.
So this is what happens when you put an engineer
Oh, right,
and, and an automotive, like a competent automotive mechanic in the same body.
You just talk for too long, but you forgot about that part.
Well, I don't know.
It's better than I done good.
So I done made up these lines here. I wrapped them in a heat tape so that dang old exhaust gas don't boil that transmission fluid. You know what I'm saying? The automatic transmitter right here.
Okay, shut it off. There's something that Bob doesn't like. He won't talk about it. So when we do our family roll cage like this, when you bolt it down, it doesn't matter what you do. We've tried literally everything we can. When you bolt this part of the roll cage down right here, it takes it and puts a little buckle in this corner panel. They all do it. There's really no way to avoid it. If there's a weak point on this whole paint job, which there aren't many, right, because this thing is a really nice paint job, but if there's a weak point, yeah, you'll never see it on camera, but you can tell that. Especially when it's up on the rack, you can see there's always just a little buckle caused by that doggone roll cage.
And after we did that, Bob walked out later that day and said, "Oh, you guys tightened everything, didn't you? You messed up my body."
Yeah, it's one of those things.
It's what it is. Yep.
Sorry, Bob. These bring me back to my childhood, Jordy. When I was a kid, these would have a little piece of green felt right there and right there. Mm-hmm. You would put them on either side of your fish tank glass.
Oh, and scrub
and
that.
Clean the fish tank.
Okay.
Remember fish tank magnets?
Now that you say it, yeah.
That's about the exact same size they were. Well, anyway, enough about fish tank magnets. What do we have? What's special about this engine compartment?
What's special about this engine compartment is we have only 2 cables coming off the battery. We're going to have 2 more for the winch, but we don't have a ton of wire ends pulled off the battery with fuse holders laying everywhere. It definitely took a lot of planning and effort to make this super clean. There are a few extras on this truck, and they all have to be fused and protected, right? I have managed to put all of that on the underside of our battery mount tray. All the relays and most of the fuses live in the power distribution center or just right next to it. Kept the underhood really, really clean.
I put a post of that green FJ62 we just finished on Instagram the other day. Ultra clean truck, right? Mm-hmm. Open the hood with the camera. Yeah. People, oh, you lost me when you opened the hood. You lost me when you know, it's just like, I get it. I'd rather this be a 5.7 Toyota. That's not possible or practical in this situation.
It sure isn't, and I agree. There's definitely the haters out there, and the vehicle has a different flavor with the big, powerful V8 in it. That's true, but it's still really, really great. And I think that's what some of these people forget, is that this is a tremendously bitchin' ride.
Yeah.
No way around
Well,
it.
then for every one of these that we do this to, we're building 10 that we didn't do this to.
That's
so it's
right.
not like it's the only thing on the menu, right? But there's definitely haters.
We love them.
Yeah.
We love them all.
Yeah.
I love every Land Cruiser. Doesn't matter how they're powered. They can be Flintstone powered, and they're still cool.
So thanks for hanging around with me, walking around and checking into our project. Thanks for watching Profits Resurrection Land Cruisers TV. We love our subscribers. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Also, if you want to check out our Instagram, it's Pro Cruiser on Bring a Trailer. Also, Profits Resurrection Land Cruisers on Facebook, and the website, resurrectionlandcruisers.com. Thanks for watching. They also have mold and mildew remover.
Is that what they use to clean boats with?
I think they use it to clean boats with. No? Movie reference?
I was hoping I was going to catch you making a sandwich on this thing.
No, I do have a bag of Doritos if you want to be like, oh no, what is he doing? See, Bob, look what I did. I brought the cameras over. It's because I have such a camera-friendly personality.